What's up, guys? Craig Mack here, Liberty Bell Beekeepers. Got a little bit of a reprieve at work today and got done early, so I figured I'd come out and check out my swarm traps. Now, I've had two that I've had set out. Coming up on a week now, and both have had activity just about every day that I've checked on them. And I'm really just kind of taking a look to see where we're at and how they're doing. So let me pause this and flip it around so you can see. Okay, so here's my trap. Up in the tree. This is about, I guess, I don't know, maybe about 10 or so feet up. And as you can see, I've got a lot of activity going on in this thing. Today's the first day over 80 degrees here in Philly. And the bees on the bee deck were humming, and these are doing the same thing. Now, when you set out a swarm trap, you're looking to kind of replicate what these bees would be finding in nature. Normally bees like trees, hollow trees with a spot in it they can get in. And from what the research is telling me, somewhere between 10 and 15 gallons worth of space. About 10 or 12 feet up, 12 to 15 feet up in the air. And southern exposure, which I got. All three things. So this trap was in place about a day and a half before it had activity, and they've been pretty consistent on it, so I'm hoping that they don't stop. I don't know if you spotted that hawk just take off behind this tree too. This is an old set of woods. This woods is pretty untouched for the last couple hundred years, as it was private property, and now portions of it belong to the township. But it's a beautiful, beautiful untouched piece of land. And you can see, like, I'm kind of trying to keep an eye out, see what's going on here. Looking for bees coming in with resources like pollen. That way I know that they're really setting up shop. Like I said, this has had activity for the last 5 days straight. So I'm very optimistic, but as of right now, I haven't seen any resources coming in. So this is what a swarm trap looks like when you're trying to find and capture wild bees. You set one of these things up. The best thing to do is to make sure you don't have any honey, and get some old comb, something that really smells like bees. Old comb is great for it because it's something that they've used, they've produced brood in, they've stored honey and pollen in, and they've had a chance to make it stink like bees, and other bees like that. A lot of times they go back to the same locations after you've even removed them. So you can oftentimes catch a swarm in the same place over and over and over again. Now, in woods like this with these, centuries old trees, there's a good chance that there's wild bees still here. And that's what I'm looking for. Good feral bees, survivor bees, bees that don't need people's help. And make more of them. That's what I want to do. So I got two traps set out in this set of woods within a couple hundred yards of one another, which at first I was a little concerned about, but what's the worst that could happen? I don't catch any bees, right? Well, so far I've gotten bees in both of these traps. Now I'm checking on the second one here. A little bit different style, as I just threw this one together when I saw that the other one was getting action. I threw this one together to make sure that this area was covered, and it has not disappointed. Now here's my other one. This one's up a little bit higher in the tree. Not as busy as the other hive was, but this one was jamming the last couple days. As you can see, this one's got a front entrance with that circle closer. I don't know what exactly they're called. This one is a deep body frame and a medium body frame stacked on top of one another. And that gives me about the right amount that I'm looking for. Now I do have a small secondary entrance in this that these have been using pretty good. It's a very small entrance. I did it actually more so for ventilation, but sometimes they prefer to have a top entrance as opposed to a bottom entrance. So I'm really happy to see that both of these traps are remaining active and showing some good signs of these bees setting up shop. Once again, I am looking for signs of them bringing in resources like pollen. It's easy to spot on their pollen sacs on their back legs. But as of right now, I haven't seen any. But the fact that I've got activity in these hives is pretty good. Now, what I'm hoping it is that some of that old comb that I had did have a little bit of honey in it, which can just lead the bees to come in to rob that out and kind of give you a false impression of what's happening. So if you can keep that honey completely out of it, that's what you want. You just want the smell of the bees in there. Old comb is great. Some people just put old frames in a box and set it on the ground and they find they get bees in them. This being a beautiful set of woods, I went to the trees because there's a lot of old growth trees here, a lot of old broken branches high up in some of these trees that could make great bee nests. I've yet to find a bee tree here, but I haven't spent a good amount of time really looking, and I need to get some kind of binoculars or something to get a good look up in these trees. So I just wanted to kind of show you the idea behind swarm traps. This is, for me, I'm in Philadelphia. I'm in a city. This is a small patch of woods, not far. It's actually just outside of the city, but to me it made sense to go to old land that hasn't been disturbed by development, the land that's protected. If you have anybody with large amounts of it near you, near a city where the land is untouched, it's wooded, and it's been like that for forever, that's a great place to inquire about getting bees or setting up a swarm trap. Communication is great, and most times people are fascinated by the bees once they really get a look at them and see how much they work, how busy they are, and just their overall vibe to what they do. I know I've gotten 3 calls this week about people that are interested in having me set up traps on their property. So I'm hoping to get a few more out just to ensure that I get some of these free bees. It sounds pretty good. They're definitely checking this out. They're definitely liking this location. There's a lot of bees flying in and out. And I think that they're setting up shop. So once they get in there and start to get set up, you got to give them some time. What I want to do is wait for at least 10 days to 2 weeks. That gives the bees time to really set up shop, start building comb, and letting that queen start to lay eggs. After she lays an egg, bees that aren't turned into a queen, because there's no need for it at this point, will be capped over. That's also something that I'm waiting on. I want to get them bees comfortable in there, building comb, the queen laying eggs, and them starting to cap those eggs over. So far so good with my swarm traps. At least these 2. I got a few more out that have had no activity yet. Some of those are in backyards and in just places that people said, yeah, sure, go ahead, put one there. That I wasn't overly optimistic about, but put one out anyway. So that's it. Just a brief video about swarm traps. The couple that I have that are showing really good signs. And yeah, that's it. Probably do another video to show you how I set these up, the arrangement of frames and things like that, that can help some of you guys if you're looking to not buy packages of bees. There's a lot of them out there that don't need anything. They don't need treatment. They don't need to be fed. They can do it on their own. They're very, very positively strong at taking care of themselves. And we're back up to the second one, or the first one rather. Still very busy. Still very busy. All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for checking this video out. As always, you can donate to our GoFundMe. You can check us out on social media, Liberty Bell Beekeepers. And we'll see you next time. Have a good day, guys.